Hi everyone and welcome back to the Career Discovery Sessions. This week we have a very special guest for our football enthusiasts and young talents. Having worked for some of the biggest names in the field, including Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, Fulham and many more, our guest holds the Premier League Golden Boot, 7 times running Footballer of the Year, FIFA World Cup Championship and many more titles. Please welcome Dimitar Berbatov, who incidentally comes from the same hometown as me. Добро утро, господин Бербатов. Много съм щастлива, че сме тук днес за това интервю. Сигурна съм, че всичките ми съученици ще са много щастливи за вашето мнение за тази професия. And from here on in English, I guess. Every young child, or most young children, hope to be a footballer in the future. So what motivated you to begin playing football? And how did you gain practical skills to get noticed by Bayer Leverkusen at only age 19?
Well, first of all, hello again, nice to meet you. Second of all, this question you asked me is an interesting one because I imagine that a lot of young boys dream of being football players. They practice and practice and practice every day, which is the most important thing, to be honest. Like I did when I was a very young boy, growing up in Bulgaria, in my hometown of Blagoevgrad, and just kicking the ball all day long, Yes, of course, I was going to school as well, trying to pay attention in school is very important too. But the love of my life, as we can say, was the football ball. And every moment I had, I go outside my complex where I used to live, and just starting to kick with the boys. But even if I was alone, I would just do it by myself. I'll just do it by myself all day long, just throwing the ball in the air and try to control it. Because people connected with football all the time, they're asking me, Berbs, how did you get that first touch in football? How did you make your technique so good? And I give them just one example all the time. A ball, throwing it in the air, and try to control it with my feet. That was the first exercise that helped me a lot, because to start to develop that positive habit, you need to start to do it at really young age. And then when you're growing up, that habit is going to get better and better and better. It's going to develop in a different positive way, and it's going to help you in your profession. In mine was football, so that touch helped me a lot and made that change in myself. And as you said, Bayer Leverkusen come knocking on my door to sign me, and they did eventually. But it was a hard work until that point, but it became even harder after that.
And as you said, the Golden Touch helped you to get so many different awards, such as the Premier League Golden Boot and the FIFA World Cup. That is so impressive. So you must have understood what the ideal skill set is of a professional football player. What do you think are some of the mental skills that a football player must have to be successful?
Very important. As I always said, and as some other people in football world always point out, it's all in the head. That is very important. It's all in the head, especially if you go into a very difficult game, a very important game. If you're going through a very difficult life situation, connected with football or outside football, you need to be very strong mentally. You need to be very strong in your head. In my case, I had a case connected with football where things didn't go as I planned on the pitch. It was a game. I had a couple of chances I missed. Then the fans turned on me. It was not a pleasant situation, and it was very difficult. I was just 18 years old. I was 18 years old, and in that moment, I think that exact situation and moment form my way of thinking, to be strong, to overcome situation like this, to try and fight. First and foremost, I need to help myself, and then ask for someone else help, my family or my friends, to go through a situation like this, offer advice. But that situation helped me develop and become mentally strong, because it was really difficult for me. And of course, going to Germany in Leverkusen, let me tell you something. In Germany, everything is in order. And from a boy, I became a man there, again, going through a difficult period at first, trying to get used to the change and help myself. Don't ask for help. First, try to help myself. And this way, trying to grow as a human being, as a football player.
And how do you overcome the challenges that you face in football? So you say that you're strong mentally, but do you think that there are things that you can do outside of the pitch to help you develop these skills?
Again, all in the head. I think it's all in the head. As you grow, as you develop, you pick up new things, you pick up new situations, you try to deal with them. You fail, you get up, you continue. Some of them you will succeed at first, then you fail. But all the time you need to develop and to grow and constantly change, because in the world of football and in life, actually, nothing stays the same. Everything evolves, everything changes, everything is new. Today, news already old news. The world is changing so quick and so fast. You need to adapt yourself. And I would never forget, as Sir Alex Ferguson in United was telling us how he stays successful for so many years, because he constantly adapted himself to the new changes of the world and football. If he stays the same, then he will be not as successful as he was. So you need to constantly upgrade your mind, constantly upgrade your skills as much as you can. Yes, you're gonna fail along the way many times, but you get up, you dust yourself off, and you continue, and then eventually you're gonna reach your personal top. That's what I say. I reached my personal top, and I was very happy after that.
And of course, another aspect of football is teamwork. Like you said, you have to go through many changes in your field. How was it like to change teammates, and how close were your relationship with teams?
The teamwork, that's why it's a team. It's a teamwork. It's not just one player doing the work in football. And it's very important, because for me, I always been player who played for the team, and based on the team performances, I was able from time to time to be the guy who was gonna shine in a way. But because I was able to shine is because of the effort of my teammates. This is how it is in football. The ball goes from the goalkeeper to the defense, the midfield, and then go to the striker. In case me, and I need to appreciate the effort the team is doing, so the ball can get to me and I can do my magic in a way. And it's very important to appreciate these kind of skills from your teammates, and to say thank you if you want, because every time I used to score a goal, I always first thing I do, I go to the player who made the goal, who passed to me, to say, all right, you're the guy that give the ball to me. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Outside and around football, dealing with the team, with the teammates, maybe the only thing I will change, if I have a time machine and go back in time, probably to be a bit more open in a way, not so shy and close to myself, because I was really difficult to let people into my inner circle in a way. And maybe I will change that, because I used to have teammates that they are going into a new surrounding, new team, and they're high-fiving people like they've been there all their life, And I was like sitting in my place, a bit shy, thinking what to say, how I'm gonna sound, stuff like this. A bit childish, but that's how I used to be. Now I'm a bit different, of course. So this is probably the one thing that I will change, and this way I will be more quickly integrated into the team. I was a bit shy, as I said, and I needed more time to get completely integrated into the team. But this was in the dressing room, in the training pitch. On the game days, on the match inside, everybody knew that I would die for my team, Even if I don't like you, because yes, you cannot like each other, love each other in the team. You are 30 players, so sometimes you're gonna have arguing, fighting, like in a big family. You know how it is. But on the pitch, I was ready to die for my team. The team come first, me second. That's why it's very important to develop this mindset of team comes first always.
Okay, and what about your shyness outside of the pitch when dealing with things like paparazzi and the media? How did you overcome the issues of being so successful, essentially?
I didn't have any issues, to be honest. I try to be as calm as I can when I notice something like this going on around me. At first I didn't realize what it was, especially when I step foot in England, because in Germany we didn't have stuff like this. Then I go to England, and all of a sudden I can see someone from the other way of the street taking photos of me, and I'm like, what's going on here, you know? And you get used to a new situation like this, you adapt. At first maybe you react a bit differently, but then while the things are constantly developing, you understand that this is the culture, especially in England, you know. They want to know what is going on in your world outside of football and stuff like this. But for me, I was pretty much boring outside football, to be honest. They didn't have anything to take out of me or something like this. And that's why maybe when I was looking back, I always say to people, maybe I needed to be, like I said just before now, if I was a bit more open, not so shy and private, and grow my social profile more, like in today's world we can see, then maybe I will grow my profile even more. Because now in football I can see some players who are not so good, but because they do stuff outside football, people think they are good football players, but they are not. Trust me, they just have good PR teams and they have social skills outside football, and they put it into the people's mind that they are good in football, but they are not so good. And you have the other thing around, where you have really good football players who don't have Instagram accounts or Facebook, or not active so much, and people don't pay attention to them, but they're really good football players. You know, this is how life in football is strange these days.
Right, and do you think being the second type of football player is essentially better? And of course you want to have some Instagram or social media image, but I guess being better at the skill is ideal, right?
It works both ways, to be honest. And as I said, in life now, the life that we are living now, you need to be out there. You need to promote yourself. You need to show yourself, but you need to back it up on the pitch, on the football pitch. You need to be as good as you can, because the one thing that it was better when I used to play, especially in the early stages of my career, was that no Instagram, Facebook was not there, I think, or not so big, and it was not so easy to read something that was bad for yourself. You know, now when you have Instagram and Facebook, you have a bad game, you have a miss a chance, you have something is not working on the pitch for you. People can easily criticize you on the Instagram, on the Facebook, and they can be really mean, you know. And this plays on your mind. Trust me, it doesn't matter how hard you think you are and you think that you are above these things, it can get to you. It can get to you. And we see all the time this kind of behavior from people, especially after the game is going bad. A recent occasion, England football team, when they miss the penalties, you know, all the time stuff like this. And this is something that people should work on it, especially the Instagram, Facebook, these social platforms. And this was in my early days, it was not there. So it was more easy. Go home, think on yourself, don't read bad comments that can affect you, and you think, well, I'm not good enough. No. And now it's a bit even more challenging. So you need to be, like we spoke before, even more mentally strong.
And of course, you said you're so passionate about football that, you know, the paparazzi couldn't find anything else. And now that you've retired from the actual Premier League and all those amazing platforms to play on, you have some different plans, right? You have the Dimitar Berbatov Foundation that helps young children with motivation, development of their practical skills. What is your suggestion to all of the young football players who want to become the next Dimitar Berbatov?
First of all, I need to say something about my foundation. We are like almost 13 years now working hard for the talented kids in Bulgaria. And to be honest, no football. We don't have kids in the foundation dealing with football. We have kids in science, in in all different aspects of the life or the way they want to develop themselves. And we are supporting them. Every year we give awards for the best one who achieved the best. We have a special commission who judge what they've done through the years, and we take care of them in more ways than people can imagine. And of course, I need to be the example. I need to be the example for all the kids because I started in the same situation as they are starting now. It doesn't matter if you play football or play the piano or you're swimming. We had the same start. I start from here. I reach my personal top. Now I will try to give you, in a way, maybe a bit of better start for you, like supporting you, and then it's on you to try to achieve your goal. I always tell them that they're gonna fail. That's inevitable. You're gonna fail. Then you need to learn from the mistakes, get up, continue, fail again, get up. You know, the circle of life, and we try to prepare them in a way because we have so many talented kids in Bulgaria, so many talented kids that we try to take care of. And outside of this is the football boys, who I see that again we have so many talented players. And I always say you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You're gonna sense that moment when it comes, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Even if you don't realize it, take that chance because the sad truth is that if you're football players, you're not you cannot grow and develop yourself here in Bulgaria. Unfortunately, our situation in football is not as we want it to be. So if you want to continue, grow and develop, you need to go outside of Bulgaria. Then you can challenge yourself. Uh, Without to sound arrogant, I always say, just look at myself. I started from here, I work hard, and I reach my personal top. So you try to do the same. At least try. Don't give up as soon as possible. If you hit the first bump on the road, don't give up. Just continue, continue, continue. Eventually, the hard work is gonna pay off.
Great. Well, thank you so much for all of the advice. Do you have any final words for everybody listening today?
It was nice to talk to you, for sure. And my advice probably is gonna be, especially for the grown-ups, for the young and talented people gonna listen and watch. Just go out there and do. Try to achieve, try to develop. Don't be afraid. You're gonna fail at some point. It's normal. We fail all the time, but learn from it. Continue to grow, and eventually have a goal. Have a goal in your life. Yes, you're gonna have a distraction along the way. You're gonna have a big distraction, but it's okay. Young people need to have distraction. Go outside, dance, meet with other people, but never forget your goal. Just have that compass inside you and never forget that goal that you're following, and hopefully you're gonna reach it.
Thank you so much for joining me in this week's career discovery session with Dimitar Berbatov. I will see you next week with a completely different professional in a completely different field. Go and reach your personal best. Bye from me.